Is Nvidia about to become the king of the AI gold rush, or will competitors like AMD and Broadcom shake things up in the horizon? Morgan Stanley's Joseph Moore explains why Nvidia stands to gain the most from the explosive growth in AI spending, outpacing rivals as demand for advanced chips skyrockets.
Around competition, around issues with Chinese encroachment, hardware issues, product delays. And underlying that, there's been this very strong growth in tokens that you've seen. Usage of these AI models is explosive. We need a lot of hardware to support that. And we're seeing very strong conditions. I do think Nvidia is the best beneficiary. They have the highest percentage of their revenue from AI. But we really see strength across the board, and that's why we did raise targets everywhere. We're seeing strength in ASIC investing, strength in AMD, strength in the supply chain to support all of this. It's becoming a little bit consensus.
Okay.
Because we just heard from the spenders, but it is a very strong environment.
So where, if anywhere, is that benefit underappreciated? You got a name like Nvidia, which everybody already associates with AI, arguably, sure, Broadcom too, but there are some of these names like Marvell that are more involved in the guts of the networking of the data center that maybe this is priced in, maybe it's not. How are you looking at that?
Yeah, well, I think, look, the two companies that have the strongest position in processors are Nvidia and Broadcom. And I think we all know that. I tend to think that Nvidia is still a little bit underappreciated on a relative basis, just how strong their position is. But it's very strong for both. I think when you look at the AMDs, the Marvells, it's a little bit more of a lower ceiling, higher ceiling, lower floor. We're all trying to figure out where they sit. Marvell does the processors for Amazon's custom business. I do think there's some opportunity there. Their optical business near term should be very strong. And while I'm not maybe as much of a believer in some in their custom processor strategy, I think they're beating and raising here for the next couple of quarters around strong optical. And that is one that has gone a little bit out of favor as they fell short of high expectations in the first half of the year. But, you know, generally expectations are quite high everywhere. And I think those expectations are justified. I wouldn't characterize any of these as undiscovered, but there's different, degrees of enthusiasm at any point in time. And we're looking for the ones where maybe that enthusiasm is lagging a little bit behind as the market is strong for everybody. I think Marvell, I think some of the supply chain names like Micron are interesting in that context as well. Yeah,
when it comes to memory and storage that's necessary to transform and support the data hunger for AI, both old data and more recent data, are there opportunities there?
I think so. I think when you look at DRAM in particular, there's this specialty memory for AI called high bandwidth memory. And there's a lot of concern about some of the premiums are eroding there. Is it becoming more competitive? From Micron's standpoint, which is my company that I cover in that memory space, they're gaining share. And yes, it's becoming more competitive, but they're in a strong position. And because that's a growing portion of their business, even if there's a little bit of a narrowing premium, they're going to see margin accretion around all of that. So I do, we're equal weight to stock. We've got some longer term cyclical concerns, but I think from this short term, very strong surge in AI spending, I think people are a little bit underrepresenting their prospects. I think it's going to be very strong between now and the end of the year.